Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to look at percentages, and so this will be the first of a series of videos which are going to explain percentages to you guys and girls, all the way through from super basic concepts like what a percentage actually is, which is today's topic, and we're going to go up to compound percentages and daily compounding and monthly compounding at higher levels. So if it's something that you're having trouble with at school, make sure that you follow the whole series. You should do the practice questions as well to make sure that you're okay with everything. And yeah, here we go. So percentages, there's a whole series for you and it should make your life a little bit easier. So let's get into it today. So what are percentages? Well, the term percent itself is derived by the Latin per centum, meaning 100 or by the 100. So this is from Wikipedia. You can go and look at the history if you want. And it makes sense that if you went to the market back in the olden days, you'd like to know perhaps out of 100 how much you're buying. Like if you want to buy gold coins, you're not going to buy 100 of them. You might buy 1% or 1 out of 100 because they're very expensive. You might buy some olives. And so it was a way to count, which made things easier. So it's something that's been kept over the years, as it's quite an intuitive way to think about things. Now, also, if you speak Italian, or if you speak Spanish, or if you speak French, then you have words like cento, cent, cent. All the Latin languages are using the word per cent, or so it's something. It's a quantity out of 100. Okay. Now, even if you look at the percentage symbol, this looks like 100, like there's a 1 and then there's a couple of zeros here. So if you see and you look at this properly, then you'll see that it's a fraction. It looks a lot like a fraction, something divided by something with the zeros which represent the 100. So be aware of that. The symbol looks like out of 100. And so 80% is 80 out of 100. And how we express that as a decimal is we'll say 0.8. So you have primarily three expressions for percentages. You've got it with the percentage symbol, or you've got it as a fraction, which is represented here, or you have it as a decimal, like you can say 0.8. That's the same as 80 out of 100. So here are your representations for percentages. 3 out of 10, that can translate to 0.3 as a decimal. Now you could have also said 30 out of 100 for the fraction. And the percentage is 30 per 100. So 30 out of 100, 30%. Now, when you divide by 100, there is a very simple thing you can do, which is you move the decimal point 2 times. You can make little bridges. You can go two bridges and go 2 times across to make sure that you go 2 times to the left. So that when you have 24%, that's the same in decimal form as 0.24. Okay? And that's nice and easy for you. Now, per 100, you have some famous percentages. 0%, which is 0. 25%, which is 25 out of 100. Now, if you were to express 25% as a fraction, you can change 25 over 100 to a simpler form, which is a quarter. So it's okay to change 25 out of 100 to a quarter. Or as a decimal, you can say 0.25. That's okay as well. These are numbers you can use when you try and calculate 25% of something. You can divide the number by 4. You can multiply it by 0.25. You can multiply it by a quarter. Same goes with 50%. That's 50 over 100, which is 1 out of 2, which is 0.5. And 100% is something super important because 100 divided by 100 is 1. So 100% is 1, 200% is 2, 300% is 3. So these are some equivalencies, and later on when you're trying to add a quantity to 100%, like increase by 12% or decrease by 12%, you'll want to know that 100% is 1 because that's how you're going to manage to increase or decrease the numbers. So these are quite important. And so when you look at a quantity like 60 out of 100, that's 60%. You can see it on my flask on the left. You can see it in the little bar chart on the top right, or in the little pie chart at the bottom. So that's what 60% looks like. And if you were to simplify the fraction, you can look at 60 over 100. You divide the top and the bottom by 20, you get 3 out of 5. So 3 out of 5 is the same as 60 out of 100. It's the same as 0.6, or it's the same as 6 out of 10. All of these numbers represent exactly 60%. So just be aware of that. There's a lot of different representations, but they all mean the same thing. Now, if this was useful to you, make sure that you like our channel, that you follow us so that you can see the next videos. As I said, there'll be a whole series on percentages so that by the end of it, you should be super, super sharp and you should know exactly what you're doing. So I'll go ahead and make the next video for you. But until then, see you next time, and I hope you understood this video and it made sense. I'll see you on the next one.